first poet, Ilisha Thiru Purcell, who investigates who is able to rest as a poetic journey on the power of dreams and sleep as a growing health inequality. A bit about Ilisha. Ilisha is an award-winning poet, performer, and facilitator from Newcastle upon Tyne. In 2023, she was a young creative associate with New Writing North, who were in the house, where she wrote a sequence of poems and made a poetry film inspired by the classical Tamil love poetry. Ilisha's been commissioned to perform at the Newcastle Poetry Festival, and she's been shortlisted for 9 Arches Primus Volume 7. Ilisha's performance takes us through cycles of sleep, punctuated by a sleep health questionnaire she has created. The performance will include images of artwork created by the visual artist Jana Ajmal in response to one of Ilisha's poems. Ilisha.
Sleep equality test. 1. How often is your sleep interrupted? 1. How often is your sleep 1. How often is your sleep interrupted? Never, rarely, sometimes, often. 2A, do you work night shifts? Yes or no? 2B, after a night shift, how long before your sleep regains its skeleton? Immediately? 1 week later? I'm still waiting. 3, how much are you owed in sleep debt? I can't stop thinking about that May. I would have been 10. He would nearly have been 7, a birthday month. Did we speak about it? That week, that month? I can't remember. I want us to have, but I don't know if that's true. There's a quote by the poet Momtaza Mehri. Diaspora is like witnessing a murder without getting blood on your shirt. And I can't stop thinking about that either. My wish for you is rest. Our mum's eyelids topple. Before the fall we see unseen sclera, like some god has spun the globe and said, look at all you don't know. We call mum, mum, in time with our swinging feet, all perpetually reaching. On these nights, your sleep is regulated by the heartbeats of other children. We the lullaby, we the insistent. You insist that no, you weren't sleeping, only resting. How well did you rest that May in 2009? When blood divided water from water, and the promise of no fire zones were held between fingers crossed behind citizens' backs. We learned that there is a millisecond between our words, between our breath. How smooth the table must have been beneath your forearm, how cool it would have been were you to lay your head down. What if you could have shrank and lay in the ladle's bend as we ate? A woman in a poetry workshop tells me that her children sleep beneath a blanket embroidered with a map of Sri Lanka. Their bodies barely span the island, their arms hold Jaffna close. You leave contact lenses in your wake, puckering, cradling space. I never asked you how you slept that May. I never asked you how you dreamed. Okay, 4. How often do you wake to the false alarm of your heart beating at 75 memories a minute? Never, every winter, yesterday, always. A week in the life of a dream machine repair person. Monday. The call was only logged this morning and she's called again. She first called the helpline at 4:50 on a Friday. By then we were packed up and ready to clock out. The only ones still on jobs were stuck trying to pull down flyers, the dreaded S42, or in the future, fixing some technology we didn't create. I didn't think much about it then, just another entitled customer. Tuesday. The admin team tells me that I really need to take this one. I roll my eyes. They say for once she's done it all, the classic rebooting, practicing the code word, optimizing her bedtime routine. And she's even tried to clear through the childhood file, which no one wants to do. I tell them the earliest I can go is tomorrow. Wednesday. On the drive there, I realized she never logged what the contents was. No code, no category by her name. It'll be something about sex with someone or something she shouldn't be dreaming about. It usually is. Stuck in traffic, I practice my most non-judgmental face in the mirror. When I arrive, she speaks normal, dresses normal, seems normal, and offers me some tea. I get to work, anchor myself to the bed frame, and dive in. Thursday. When I come out, she tells me I was down there for over a day. She says my skin has taken on the hue of my dreams. She microwaves the tea for me. I log it as a 275 category red. Then I begin to explain to her that this is very normal for the machine. It's like a radiator that just needs to be bled. I can't tell if I'm lying. She says, yes, but this is why I bought the upgrade. They said this wouldn't happen again, couldn't happen again in this mode at this price. I tell her I'll speak to my boss. Friday. You don't bring your boss a problem on a Friday. If you do, you become the problem. He wants to know all the details. The position of her flesh, if there were clowns, if she ran. I respond in the codes they taught me. 275, category red. Saturday, I don't think about work on the weekends. But here I am. I keep seeing flashes of it, like sketches of a drawing I've now seen up close. Sunday. Tonight I use the code I said I wouldn't. I got it from a colleague who started using it when they came here, when they started this job. I never asked them if they can sleep without it now. The code makes the machine go dark, a sort of forced override. I only want to see my eyelids tonight. Monday. I go to see her first thing. The company policy is to do troubleshooting until her warranty runs out. I can't tell her this, but my body tries to. I parrot what they say, use the homing phrases, visualize a safe space each night, and it should be fine. It's only at night anyway. The machine by her bed is silent. They say it's unlikely to occur again, but that chamomile tea helps. We both laugh. 5. When you must wake and the night is ripped off like a plaster covering the day's wound, do you bleed? Yes. No. I don't know what you mean. Week 2. Sleep as washing machine cycles. Monday. There is only time for a quick wash before the next shift. Turn the heat up, turn the dry cycle to high. I thrust the tablet deep into the center like I'm replacing a heart. Tuesday. The delicate cycle leaves everything wet. I have to wring it out over the bathtub, hands stained a deep blue. In the morning, the grout lines have become inkwells. Wednesday. The machine won't start, even when I talk to it kindly. On the phone, they speak to me in codes I don't understand. I peel back the lips of the machine and dig into the fluffy remains. Thursday. I forget to unload the machine again. A day too late, I open the door with the top of a slipper, mildew wrapping around me. The whole flat reeks of my mistake. Friday. On bedsheet day, I watch the streak of blood and the imprints we created disappear at 60 degrees. I don't pretend that the sheets will be ironed. I like the roughness of a second chance. Saturday. We find a red sock and we don't know who it belonged to. The color is caught, but still the sock has snaked its way through our underwear, our fabrics. I see the color red everywhere. Sunday. I let the machine rest. I go outside and curse everything he did not name. When the rain comes, I let myself be clean. Six. You hear the garage splutter in moonlight. Is my dad coming or going? Coming, going. Safety as in perpetual unrest. We adopted them from a Pets at Home in Byker. My mum built the hutch with a power tool, while I flickered like a lighthouse who couldn't tell itself from the rocks. It was bonfire night, and I wanted to stretch my body over the hutch to protect them. The fluffy ray of sunlight and her dusky, slinky sister. I slept as close as I could to them, afraid a fox would come and it would be my fault if something happened. One of them adjusted quickly to a life of leisure, flopping in a slip of sunlight, sleeping with eyes firmly closed. She wore rest with ease. The other senses threat in the wind, thumps facing the back of the hutch to scare a predator that doesn't exist in the present. She understands that she has been labeled prey. She misjudges threats until she doesn't. After she was spayed, she fought to remain upright, her paws slipping as if moving backwards in time. When I tell people that time and trust doesn't equate to touch, I watch how they respond. Look for the flicker of an eyebrow raising, fingers moving towards perceived target. In the crepuscular hours, I watch her through the kitchen window, peer around the corner of the door so only the tip of a curl can be seen. I watch as safety floods her body and she leaps to feel joy in her small, unfurling frame. She rests midair. Okay. 7. When you were a child, did you dream of flying or falling? Flying, falling. Ten ways into water. 1. Small fingers are paid to tessellate bottled water in basements. The segregated aquariums glow Evian blue, Sprite green. The edge of a finger would make the house bleed out. 2. As a child, I swam in a pool that had lost its rusted L. I swallowed my lips to avoid loose shoals of plasters from another's wound. 3. She lay a sheet of music over the sea. The shudder of spume was the vinyl crackle, the waves against the boat, the bass. When I opened my eyes, she poured the melody straight into my mouth. 4. He found he had started something he could not finish. The broom fractures into an army Mickey has raised. Failure sloshes across the screen in time to music. 5. I need a towel. Instead, he hands me a wet plastic bag, sinews curdling over my palms. The sensation should have woken me up. 6. Sharks are an acceptable fear. Jaws, etc. I failed to mention that eye to eye with the swimming pool grate, my body senses them. 7. On a beach in Nice, a family enter the water. They let themselves be smoothed, nails, limbs, hair rounded off by the swell, until they are pebbles, gently colliding. 8. I am a mermaid. One flick of a fin and I'm propelled forwards. I move at the speed of an Australian TV show. I move at the speed of a girl without fear. 9. Every grain of rice you don't eat, that's an hour off your life. He meant to say second, I understand the first time. Crusted onto the pan's lip, wrapped in carpet fibers raw, I place them all on my tongue. At night, I've taken to sleeping under the tap, mouth wide, like I've come up for air. 10. She dives deep. Eyes on the plastic prize. Suddenly, everything is the color of squid ink, as the not water world is eclipsed by an inflatable assault course. Her body is loud in ink.